Hey everybody, it's Isaiah with Wood, Brass, and Glass, and I'm back with another video. In this one I'm going to be building Stormbreaker from the Avengers End game. Put it together and all that, so stay tuned and show you how I did it all step by step. Image projector to get the scaling all right on a piece of paper up on the wall. Anyway, so it's all scaled correctly. It's about 23.5 inches across and 44 inches from this base to the bottom. These are just templates. Now this is the actual piece of steel I'll be doing, and this will be the handle. It'll be a laminate with wood on the front and back. This was the first prototype. Just used ordinary steel to kind of get the weight right. And I wanted to actually be able to use this like at jobs and stuff, so it has to be actually practical. Now it is, of course, thin. It's not going to be like full realistic, because then it would be completely unusable. I made this one out of 1/2 inch and ended up being 4.95 pounds. This one was 5.8 pounds. This was 6.8. And so it really kind of turned out to be a kind of a bit of a heavy axe. So on the piece over here, that one is 1/4 inch thick, as where this one is 1/2, and which we're basically going to bring it down to less than 2.5 pounds. This is a stainless steel plate, and I'm going to arrange these pieces. So I got these all arranged so I know exactly where this 3-inch piece of metal will sit, basically like that, and these are cut out to fit the shapes, and they'll fit into there, fit into there. I'll weld it and then cut the handle to match basically this or this. This is the real template. This is a little carbide scribe. I wish this thing focused better. There we go. Carbide scribe, so I can get a laser line on this blue ink. Okay, so stop saying so much. I keep saying so much. It's just so much. I'm so. Why is this thing so like this? There we go. All right, better. Okay, these rings are all lightly etched in. Ugh. Hammer to make a hammer. Yeah, camera may not be able to see. So, have these faint little marks come in through here. So I just go back and get the ruler, make everything real nice and true, and then I heavily etch it. Hello? So I tried the Milwaukee saber saw and managed to burn through 2 blades and only cut about 2 inches, so it was just kind of insane. So this is a vertical horizontal bandsaw, and it's slow, but it cuts evenly and the blade doesn't heat up. So I'm going to be at this for a while, just cutting this all out. Hopefully it won't be too many hours. So here we go. The axe blade is finished. Now to the back end of the hammer, and then I'll start doing some etching, some sanding, and getting this thing going still. Here we go. Here's the end piece. I'm gonna take them to the waist scale and wham. Actually, just like that. You know, blue on blue. Anyway, and this thing is huge. Let's take it to the scale and see how much this sucker weighs. 6.9, 11.4. So here's how it compares to the original. I did some research and found that this first one I did actually was kiltered wrong. As you can see, it was totally too long and the blade was too small. So essentially it's like that. So I got this side down and just put a fresh batch of blue ink, and I'm going to be working on channeling out this area. I'll show you on the phone. So this is a picture of, let's see, there we go. So this area is grooved out. Now this is like the full 3D model. Obviously this is not. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take about a 1/16 of an inch down into this groove line once this ink dries. And then I'll put in the marks, I'll scribe them by hand. The back of the axe is mounted onto the mill. I got a 3/4 inch bit. I drew out the diagram on this with the carbide bit or carbide pen where this slot, little tiny slot, is going to go. So I'm going to get the milling going here. So I got all the scribe marks done on this piece. You can see using tons and tons and tons of paper templates, copying and recopying. And the blade has just arrived back from the sharpener. Now, just because of the ability the sharpener had, he wasn't able to bring the bevel back 3 inches or so back to the line. But he did give me a nice sharp edge. And for that, I am very grateful, since it only cost me 40 bucks. So I told him no more sharper than a kitchen knife, so he made it about that sharp. It's nice. Yeah. Blade is all sanded down, and I reapplied my dye so I can start the preliminary etching. So I'm getting the templates all set and ready. And this is a new one that I redid on the computer, just because when I went through the drawings I made, they actually were not perfectly symmetrical. So I spent some time, got them all exactly dialed in, all exact measurements. So I'm going to razor cut this out. So I got a left, let's see, left and a right, flip-flopped, but they're all exact. So that way I can do one side and I can do the other side. Pretty cool. And that way I'm finicky about getting all the details. The original was of course this one, and you can just see in the camera these things were not, they were just so yeah, now it's true. I want to demonstrate real quick how I get, without any printouts, that kind of thing, the sizing for the axe, the handle, anything really I need, any project, unless if it's too big. Take this one for example, it's too big. So from tip to tip, it's 23.5 inches. So what I did is I bought this years ago. It's a LED image projector, video, whatever I have on my laptop or any wireless device, my phone. I put it through here, and I can size this up easily to an exact scaling I want, with just backing the tripod off. So like for this one, this is the paper. And I've already gone ahead and drawn the, let me cancel out the wave of the light. I've already drawn out the handle, scaling everything, so I can cut my metal appropriately. But yeah, it's fairly simple, and I just trace it by pencil because I'm getting this roughly, use some imagination to getting this into the wood. This is obviously a 3D print. So just wanted to show that off, how I do that. So basically here's the whole setup. Laptop, projector, image, big skunk. Big gopher. Somebody's popping off a bunch of rounds. Anyways. Alright, this baby's all welded together. Actually has a pretty decent weight to it. I was hoping for something more lighter, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be able to cut split wood, all that kind of wonderful stuff as axes do. Or I'm just building it for work because sometimes I need a big axe to break things. So that turned out pretty good. Has a good, definitely has some weight to it. It'd be easier to hold once the wood's wrapped around it, because this 1/4 inch is hard to hold on the hands. I think this is about 13 pounds, so it's not too bad. It definitely has some weight. So this is the engraving on the one side. This side's done. I even got the texture on it. So I'm going to work away on this a little bit tonight and then take on it on another day, finished up. Man, that guy is shooting a lot. What he's after. Shooting in the dark, who knows. So I wanted to show a little trick I used to get these little engravings. So I did all this by hand. Super just ridiculously easy. So I love these little guys. You can pick them up at art stores. So just found the right size circle and used the Dremel tool to put in the, this thing doesn't autofocus. Should. There we go. Put the Dremel tool to engrave this in. And that way I can get perfectly identical pieces of this emblem thing. Alright, the back plate is done, and I'm going to be taking off the blue printing die and welding this sucker on. Pretty sweet. I really like how this is turning out. So I got all this kind of etched in stuff. It's not sandblasted. It's just the same detail I did on the axe head. So next step, here we go. Got the back mounted, so I got it straight across, straight with the lines going through. Yeah, that's right. Just kind of double checking everything. Yep, that's good. So I screwed it down, screwed the handle in place, locked it down tight, used some shims to line it all up pretty much straight. I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack this baby together. Pretty hardcore. First I need to insulate this area with some covering of something that won't spread. Back in a flash. Okay, there we go. Yeehaw, partners. This is doing so well. I think this is a 3/16 rod. So the weld didn't come out all that perfectly through when I re-welded it. It's a little bit better. That's more like it. Let's see if it works at all. It does a little bit. May not even be worth even doing. It's still pretty darn true. Well, if anything, this will make a good bell. Come and get it, everybody. Dinner's ready. Okay, Bob, you gonna help me grind? You wanna help grind? Okay. You can probably just stand back. Just like grind, grind, grind away. Ow. You know, I should get some water hooked up to this. Ow, that hurts. This hand has all the feeling. This still has feeling. If only my heart had so much feelings. Okay, let's do some grinding. Hope this thing is, this is the Diablo grinding disc. I've never used these before, but I just cut through this like it was aluminum and I'm impressed already. So this is a little bit wet, see how it handles some water. Cool. Man, these are freaking awesome. I have to say that is one of the best grinding discs I have ever used, and I've been using them for a long time. Different brands, everything. I am thoroughly impressed. Ooh, I love the fireworks. Okay, so this is going to be the wood for the handle. I got it outlined by just putting the metal on top. Drew a rough trace, and I'm keeping about 1/4 of an inch away from any of the lines. So I'm going to get a flush bit router and just trim around, make it real nice and clean, and then get a 3/4 inch radius, go around the edges, and then get a really intense grinder bit. I don't know the name. And kind of groove in using the kind of the details from the original pictures. This is one of them, some lines and stuff to make it look like it's a tree. So I'm going to continue on cutting. I'm so used to cutting stainless, which is miserably slow, and this just feels like butter. Good enough for me. Last bit, last bit. Perfect. Oh my gosh, this just feels so much light. I don't know what to say. It's late. Okay. So this is getting near to laminating, and I got these type of bolts. They're I think they're high strength, but they're for furniture, that kind of thing. So they'll be flat on both sides, and I'm gonna glue them in tight with some thread lock. Put them on both sides in just 3 points. The rest is going to be fully resin laminated. It'll take about 3 days for it to cure up, but that's what I want, the real slow dry stuff. But I'm gonna start doing some routing here pretty quick and get these lines for the steel completely matched in. So here we go for routing. So I'm gonna cut the straight line in first, and then get Mr. Gigantor 3/4 inch radius and take the radius out. And then get some grinder bits and channel the tree lines, and then take a break. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna get this two-part resin system all mixed up and put the blade down, flip this over, put the bolts down. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I take this camera for a spin. All right, I'm gonna show this off what I did because it was all long distance. So when this hardens up, I'm just gonna peel it away. So it just kind of all drooled over, and obviously this is all dripping down from most of it. It's thickening up pretty fast, and that's what I want. Well, I took a step forward and routed everything off. It's all cleaned up. So I'm not happy with it. Frankly, because it's like 24 pounds. So I'm gonna kind of do this over. This spot right here is a 1/4 inch. Also, these are too, and that's okay. So basically, I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna cut these blades off, the butt end off, remove the handle, basically throw it away, and then go ahead and cut out this sheet stock. I traced the lines to match the handle, 1 for 1, and I'm going to weld this to this and this, just like I did with this piece, except this piece is 1/8 inch, and with the laminate stock it'll hold it extremely rigid. The other thing I like about it is looking at how the resin glued up with the wood. I'm not going to need these stinking bolts, which I really like that because it's just unsightly. It's supposed to be a tree limb holding this thing in. The handle itself, so I was thinking, okay, so it's not 10, about 7.5. The head, 15.4. Holy smoker doodles. So the new lighter weight handle is ready. 1/8 inch thick, but it'll be laminated with wood. And this sucker is far lighter. A little tack welding now that it's all set. Oh, too much power there. Love it when the resin burns. You know, that's probably not the best thing to put on the table. Ah! Don't pick up red hot metal either. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Come on. You know you want to. These parts are all cut out and ready for welding. Let me flip around the other side, because that one's basically done. Turned out pretty slick. Near final welding is just finished up. I need to do the sanding on the holes and stuff that I filled. So this back edge needs to be obviously sand down. It's all welded up, but the basically the style railing is all complete. I did a bit on this end here too, just to give it kind of a three-dimensional perspective. Once it's sanded, it'll look a whole lot better. But it's starting to look pretty cool. Done. All the sanding is finished up, got it out of the tank, and now I'm starting on the handle pieces. This is the original that I got off the old one the original wood that I tore off. So I'm using it as a template to go on the new wood. Glue is all dried up, the resin's all dried up. I let it set the whole entire night. This is like Christmas presents on Christmas morning. This was the same weight. I know it's a little lighter. Not by much though, unfortunately. Well, I still have some wood to shave off though. I have pressure washing to go to cut the grooves out, so maybe half a pound to a pound off, and clean this resin all off. All right, so I had to interrupt this video. This is not an artificial light. We're having some crazy fires here right now. Let's turn this camera and check this out. This is Oregon. There's some blue sky fortunately heading towards me, but all this is just this deep orange. There's ash, little bits of ash falling. It's insane. So that is not fake light on me. Okay, back to the axe. Glow. All right, so the straight edge on the routering is all finished. It's getting a little lighter, it feels better. It's still heavy, but straight edge all done. And then going for the radius, the deep 3/4 radius around the whole handle. Be nice and rounded, and do some sanding. All right, let's check this out. Routering is all finished. So I'm gonna have to do some hand carving in to get the grain. I left the handle flat and just put a tiny little bevel on the end. The end of it. So it's kind of more true to what it really is. Yeah, this looks sharp. Looks really cool. All right. So let's actually go and weigh this sucker and see what happens. Hopefully it's improved. Not a whole lot. Well, I shaved off 3 pounds. It's these details I added that added the weight. That's what did it. But it's worth it. I shaved off 3 pounds, and I got the details I like. Out that view. No, the shop is not on Mars. Sure looks like it, but holy smokes. No pun intended. That is insane. There was blue skies coming, and now they're all going the north direction. So yeah, it feels like I'm working at night, but I'm not. It's 5 o'clock on a nice summer day, and it was supposed to be like 90 degrees today. It didn't get up to 80. It was like 78 degrees max. It was pretty awesome. I love these different things. I'm glad the smell has gone away. Once the blue sky came in there, it's weird how this smoke is acting like a canopy, and so all this fresh air came in. And you can smell the smoke, but it's not bad. I noticed that the fresh air really came zooming in. So now I'm just kind of treating this view like I'm on Mars or something. Yeah, lots of fun. We got the lines drawn for the grain. Just looked at images online, just kind of, you know, it's kind of artist interpretation. And then I got this little guy for ultra fast wood removal. This is like a $50 bit, so don't hit metal. It's not for metal, it's only for wood. But see if we can make this pop. Come on, autofocus. Doesn't want to autofocus. Anyways, yeah, this will definitely do it. There we go. Spikes galore. Yikes. All right. Never used one of these before, but I'm gonna see what happens.
Oh, that's sweet. That's real sweet.
Hey guys, so it's been like 4 days since I shot the last video. The fires, as you saw in the last video, just got worse and worse. I actually had to, we went to like level 3, which means you're ordered to evacuate your house. It shot up pretty quickly. It went to level 1, level 2, level 3 within just a couple of days. The fires just got so bad I couldn't stay at my home because of the smoke. So now it's about 4 days later, and I'm back. All we got was huge amounts of smoke, and the smoke has started to go away. Thank God, because of the fog. The winds, or actually no winds. There's been no wind. Zero lack of wind.
Welcome to Starfleet Command Headquarters.
Silence! Okay. So yeah, I'm back with it, and just doing a little touch up on the axe. Basically what happened here. So I put this really ultra cool surface on it. Alright, so what I did here was use the needle scaler that I've used to do the detail work on here, and just went on the wood and created this really modeled surface. This is not paint finish, this is actually the wood surface. It all has this indented thing, so it actually kind of looks like bark. Now I just painted this because it's cooled off due to all the smoke. The sun hasn't been out in 4 days, so this will probably be dry by tomorrow. But it looks pretty cool, and this will turn flat, like a flat color. It's exterior paint, exterior grade paint, so it has a really durable surface on it. Paint is dry. So I did something. I've been looking over all the the Etsy creations and the way that they got the wood grain, even the actual movie prop. And something I've seen that they use. It looks like a compound, kind of like this. Compound, like words. Multicolored textured Rust-Oleum paint. It adds a nice texture to it, so it kind of has a consistency of almost like soft sand, rubberized sand, mixed into this paint. And I went up to here. It gives a nice texture to it. So I also both got like a grayish black and brown, and kind of been doing patchworks of both, so you don't just get solid brown or solid black. This is the original surface. Let me switch this off. The blue's killing me. There we go. And then you go to this wood grain kind of sand texture. It's a nice feel in the hands. A little rough, but it doesn't. It's not like sandpaper. It's just kind of a good grip. Alright, things all masked off on the other side. I put a tiny little pin under here, or screw, to hold it up. That way the bottom can dry, as well as the top. So I'm just kind of mixing and matching the paints to where I like how it looks. Add some gray. It's like Christmas. So there's a brief intermission in this between these clips. It's been about a half year since I last shot the other video clip. So I took the time and went and got a TIG welder to finish up the axe, and it's all hooked up, ready to go. So I'm going to weld the final joints together, the final details, and get the hammer fish, then go test it, chop some things up, and get this video concluded. Alright, so to the welding. This is all arc welded, and kind of just terrible as that arc welder is, trying to smooth these welds out. Alright, so all the major welding is finished up, and it's all this kind of this rough gold color, and it's sort of roughed up, so I gotta come back and do a bunch of sanding, clean it up, some carbide bit, sharpen things up. Sharpen up the edges, but it's all TIGged, both sides. So basically just some cleanup, some darkening, clean this up, probably do some polishing. It's almost ready, and then go chop some things. Welding's finished. This is the grand moment. Gotten all the polishing done, all the grinding's done, everything. Here it is. He's huge. Thin and huge. I think in the other previous video it was a part of this video, I already did the weight. So the weight hasn't changed, I haven't added anything. So let's take this sucker out. Oh my gosh, it's sharp. Take the sucker out to do some chopping. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is chop up 6x6. Okay. Not a problem there. I think it takes a little getting used to because the weight is there's so much weight in this hammer. Axe. Smokes. It was I wish I had a stump to cut through. Let's see, let's try something else. You see it? There's a dowel. See if I can cut through this with one stroke. Alright. There's a concrete block. Like 2 inch by 2 inch. This is the back end. This is the piece of tape. No, I'm not going to hurt the blade side. Let's hurt the butt end. Okay. I like it. Good. It smells like resin. Delicious. Yes. I'm going to try milling here. Now this is one I have not made any videos of. This is one. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope it don't react. Okay, I'll rate that as indestructible. Any scratch. Alright, well. So one last thing before I go. found so many uses for this axe besides just chopping things, like breaking an egg. So you take the axe, you take an egg, and while you're preparing your dish, you have the top of the axe with the egg. You break the egg. Well, fresh eggs. So there you go. And now your axe is covered with egg. I got egg all over. Well, everybody, that's it for this video and the making of Stormbreaker. Thank you for joining me in this long adventure. It took about a half a year to get this project done, aside from many, many other things. So, really glad this is done, and start making actually some more videos and post them. So, I do have an Instagram account, I have a Facebook account, and I'll link those in the description below. Please click the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified whenever I post another video. So take care, everybody, and God bless.